Welcome back. We've come down here by the river to kind of look at the next aspect of the wheat harvest, and that's transporting the wheat. We're going to be talking with a boat captain here that runs a tug that moves the barges that move the wheat. We're really looking forward to understanding a little bit more about how our Arkansas River here is part of the transportation system that moves some of our agricultural commodities today.
You start off as a deckhand, and I was unfortunate enough to start off in South Louisiana in a turn fleet with 600 barges. So all we did was we built tows for the bigger boats. So we'd put them together and they would come in and drop 30, and we would have a 30 barge tow built. But it was 12 hours a day, all day long, day and night, building and putting them together. And you know, each set of rigging, a wire weighs 110 pounds, a ratchet weighs 90 pounds, a strap weighs 40. So you're moving 300 sets a day on one watch. So you're constantly working. You start off there, and then you start as a green deckhand, and then you move your way up to a second mate, which is someone who listens to the first mate and gives everyone else under him orders. It's kind of like the military. And then you about a year and a half, 2 years, you hit the mate's position, and you run that for about 4 years. And then by that time, you've got enough days in and hours to go to school. So then you go to school, you get your paperwork sent in, you get the Coast Guard approval. Then you typically start your steersman program. Then you got to steer for another year. And then after you're done steering, if you're lucky enough, you get turned loose. Well, let's just say that I get a phone call in the morning to come out and work. It's a Jantram boat dropping a couple of barges. Typically, they'll give me an hour heads up. So we'll say they call me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm here at 7:30. I go down there, I pull the barges off them, which could be wire rod, pig iron, magnesium ore, it could be anything. And typically the docks have given me a heads on what they're gonna unload through the week. So I set them up in the fleet so I can keep the barges that are gonna go to next in the clear. So I make sure to do all that in the beginning. As soon as I take them off the boat, they go to the fleet to be tied off, and then I wait on a scheduling and a phone call to take them to which dock that they need to go to. That's a typical morning. But then, you know, I might have to clean one. So then we'll have to take them over here to this dock here, pull the top off, get down in them with brooms, sweep them, clean them, lid them back up, and then typically as soon as we get them done being clean within a day or two, there's a boat here to pick them up empty, take them back down south to the Gulf where they're reloaded and flipped right on around and head right back up this way. I typically go to lock 13. I've been down below the lock to help other boats shove up, but typically I just stay pretty much within 2 to 3 miles of this area. So I just maintain the fleet and the docks. I make sure that they're spotted with the product that they need, and then as soon as they're finished, I give them another one so they can continue to go. The stuff that's exported out is typically wheat, winter wheat, and that's right around this time of the year is when they start getting ready to ship it out. But see, that wheat could go in a barge, okay, and be scheduled to go out, but it might not even be bought yet. They might sell two different times before it even gets to where it's going. Or it's purchased here and then they just send it out for that customer. And not only wheat, but we do soybeans. That's mainly what we do here. Typically 20 to 30 soybeans barges, which is 1,500 tons per barge a year. And sometimes we'll have 8 or 10 of them in the fleet. So if you're looking at like $15, $16 a bushel, and there's 60 pounds per bushel, 1,500 pounds is quite a bit of money on one barge. So typically at one time could be 6, 8, 10, $12 million worth of product down there in the fleet. Most of it's gonna go down to the Gulf, and if it's already bought, say it's gonna be loaded right onto a ship. So the customer could be anywhere overseas. I mean, Russia did what, 39% of the total crop all over the world, and what Ukraine did 18%. So that's 50% of the grain that's being disturbed right now. So Canada and US is the next 2 leaders. So that's probably putting a damper on a lot of the wheat product, and the prices are going up probably, or will be, I don't know, because there's a lot of conflict overseas with those 2 companies, which were the largest exporters, Russia. So that does affect what we do with ours, but it's typically bought when it's loaded here, and then it's taken down to the Gulf and loaded on the ships. We do not do any corn here, export. Not one piece of corn goes out. Tyson and all the chicken plants buy all that. And then this year they brought in 12 more barges of it. And I've been here for 20 years, they've never done that. So there's a corn shortage in this area.
We've had a great time today learning about the wheat harvest and also learning a little bit about the transportation. I was thinking today about being out here on the Kibler Flats. We're right outside of Fort Smith and Van Buren, and there is a farming area here along the Arkansas River that's thousands of acres. And I wonder oftentimes how many people realize that it's here. I think a lot of people are not aware of what's in their backyard. Years ago when I was living in Washington, I traveled around the Olympic Peninsula and got to come down the coast and see all the forests that were being managed. And it intrigued me because there was such management going on there, and it was right in the backyard of Seattle and Tacoma and Olympia. I think a lot of folks never realized what kind of management was going on. Well, here we are in Arkansas. We've got the Kibler Flats with thousands of acres that are being farmed here. Hard-working farmers work day in and day out to bring us food and fiber, and we're not even aware of it. Anyway, we've had a great opportunity today to expose you to a little bit more of what goes on right here in your backyard in the area of agriculture and its transportation.